basement. Level vibes with another one. Straight up. Blackness, aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Imagine 18 hours of blackout.
Many of you would know me from 2020 on the other side of the aisle. But I can tell you, I have joined forces with my brother and friend Irfan because I believe in his vision. A vision which he personally outlined to me. I'm not giving away.
Hawk 2. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling.
I thought you come and telling you support, make sure you support me in the next election. President Daddy is one person who's always remembered me.
em. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the.
I don't know what's happening with these guys, but what sort of progress are they talking about? They are talking about a Guyana that we don't know, and just a couple of them, who are now claiming that they're endorsing Irfan Ali and because of X, Y, and Z. We know it's a lie. We know it's a big, fat lie. And trust me, when I say it's a fat lie, I really do mean it. No pun intended, but I really do mean it. It's a big fat lie.
Hollister, many of you would know me from 2020 on the other side of the aisle. But I can tell you, I have joined forces with my brother and friend Irfan because I believe in his vision.
Now, what vision? Oh, let's be fair enough. We're entitled to their own political views, whatever. It's okay. But let's deal with the facts. What vision? What plan? What progress? In a country that is supposed to be way ahead of Barbados, of Trinidad and Tobago, and nothing's wrong with those islands. I love it. Beautiful indeed. Don't get me wrong, right? And so at the end of the day, when these folks jump out like pacus, they jump out like catfish. I don't know, fish out of the water, catfish. I don't know what they're talking about. Can you guys, the buildings that we've been seeing and so forth, we know how some of those huge buildings have been put up there. We know that. So let's not beat around the bush. We know how some of those big buildings got there. But people who have been repairing their homes, right, their houses, whether in South, whether on the quarantine, whether Blackbush, Polder, wherever, Polder, in Lynden, Amelia's Ward, you go, wherever it is because people have saved up, they've worked hard, or they have some relatives overseas who work, or some of them who go back to Guyana, they work hard, and it has nothing to do with development of any installed government. Absolutely nothing. And so the government wants to take credit for all these little nice things that we've been seeing. And it's nothing new. We've seen a lot of those nice things under the coalition government. Oh, yeah. Clean water for the most part, because for 23 years, the PPP couldn't do anything. Absolutely nothing other than run the country down. Whether it's the sugar industry, whether it's bauxite, whatever it is, they just run the country down, completely down. You know what I mean? And so it's evidence, the evidence is there that they cannot govern a country. Some of them can't even run the show around the cathedral. I'm sorry, I'm not picking on the guys at the cathedral, but it is true. They can't run a single thing. Well, you got to give them some credit, though, for cocaine smuggling out of the country. Cocaine missing from the Guyana police force as evidence. Scores, kilos upon kilos of cocaine just go missing. They switch it and they put flour in it. And just today, just about 400 and something pounds of marijuana found, I believe. Is that, or maybe less? Where's our operator? Like, we got to look for another operator. Police, ganja, marijuana, whatever you call it. Big cocaine bust in region. Where is it again? Cocaine bust. We got it. We got all of the evidence. Look at the cocaine upon cocaine. Anthony Hosea, go call Anthony Hosea Yipsam, whatever that is, male Guyanese of mixed ancestry, age 35 years old. He's a businessman. Another one, look like you get one. He named Marlon Jerome. Another one named Anthony Lewis. Another one named Patrick Sam. Well, you can tell Patrick Sam ain't got nothing really to do with this. They use Patrick Sam. Anthony Lewis is the same thing. One man, Marlon Jerome, same thing. Another one, well, Leroy, what you name? Leroy Williams. Well, I know, but he looked kind of. But the one with the purple pants, he looked like he looked innocent. But then again, these days you don't judge a book by the cover, right? The ones that look innocent sometimes. Yaga. All right, let's start this program right over again. Good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshaw. We are going to rock and roll tonight, right? Whatever it is that you guys want us to talk about. Let's not talk about the cocaine because the PPP is a cocaine party. That's it. every time they're in office, we don't have to keep talking and talking. You guys know that. Cocaine upon cocaine upon cocaine upon cocaine. And then the cops, some of these cops, they take a chance and then they put a bunch of whether cocaine or marijuana or whatever in their car trunk. And then they, no worry, Squatty, who they up there, right? Squatty. And the reason that cop got caught with all of that, if our operator can just show us, please. We're going to fire that operator. Anybody out there looking for a job, just let us know. Right here on 107.1. He's gone again. We're after tonight. That's it. Okay. So, that cop that got caught with that cocaine, lots and lots of marijuana, in the car trunk. Somebody snitched on him. We know that. Probably one of his colleagues snitched. And that's what's going on. Lots and lots of snitches. They're snitching on each other, snitching on themselves, snitching on those corrupt officials in the PPPC regime. Oh, yeah, snitches and snitches and snitches and snitches. I don't know what's going on. Kind of manufacturing those snitches? Everybody's snitching on everybody right now. You could just imagine in the law enforcement agencies in the U.S., thick files on people snitching on each other. Why do you think when they're traveling, they get interviewed? As Roshan Khan said, Roshan Khan Sr. said he wasn't detained. He was interviewed. So if he was interviewed, then why didn't he just walk out of the interview? Just walk out. Just go. See if you can do that. Just tell him you have a bingo schedule and you got to go. All right, see if you can go. Tell Roshan Khan Sr. that he was detained. He was detained, he was questioned, he was interrogated. And that's what's happening in Guyana. Now, I noticed Tantimar said today at her press conference, said a lot of dotishness, lots and lots of dotishness. You listen for a couple of minutes, then you leave, and whatever. But what he said, he immediately tried to disown Roshan Khan Sr., throw him to the dogs. Usually, that's what Jack Deere does. The minute you get yourself tangled up in something, no matter how close you are to Jack Deere, as the Mohammeds were close to the PPP, very, very close to the PPP. The minute they start to get into trouble, anybody that is, and on the radars of U.S. law enforcement agencies, Jack Deere throw them to the dogs. Throw them. Pretend as though he's holier than thou. And so when this Paku, and I say Paku because that's what people think he is, and maybe I agree with those people too, that Roshan Khan, he said that he was interviewed. He wasn't detained. So one of the headline in Guyana News said, PPP official. Right? He might not be that kind of an official, but he's a PPP guy. Jack Deere, they always get him on some ethnic relations commission and all manner of things. I don't know why he hasn't resigned. Now, I'm not saying because he was detained. Well, he said he was interviewed by U.S. law enforcement agents. Federal agents interviewed him, interrogated him. He said he was interrogated. He was asked about the Mohammeds. What about the Mohammeds that could prompt U.S. law enforcement agents to stop Roshan Khan Sr.? Of course, others are being stopped, but because they're not as known as that Paku Roshan Khan, so they slip through. Quite a few have been stopped. They have been questioned, whether about the Mohammeds, whether about some corruption, what about PPP, whatever. But some of them slipped through the crack without people knowing. But a lot of them have been indeed. Okay, good. So now moving away from that, let's get back to the cocaine and the marijuana and all these sort of things happening in Guyana because senior police officers are involved in the drug trade. Senior government officials are involved in the drug trade, and so-called businessmen in that country are running the drug trade. most of those, 99% of those drug lords in Guyana are connected to the PPP regime. 99% of them. And once the PPP is done taking all of your money, hundreds of millions of dollars in donations from questionable business people, drug lords or whatever, money launderers and so forth and so on. The minute they're done with you and they know that U.S. law enforcement agents are hunting you down, Jack Dew is going to find a way to wiggle himself out of that relationship. So, sorry about that. I kind of have to smile for a moment. Those of you who are now joining us, yes, it's Thursday. It's the what day? It's the 10th day of April. Wow, time is going by so quickly. Now, let me just get this out of the way again. Our prayers are with the people out in Lynden. Don't forget what has happened in Lynden. We've got to continue to pray for those people. And I noticed that with the situation with Sharma Solomon and the disrespect of Sharma Solomon, I noticed this little guy, Jermaine Figueroa, continues to make himself a Pacu. Is talking about respect for those in high offices and respect for the office of the president and respect for this. Somebody got to sit that guy down and teach him a little bit about politics. Seriously, somebody has got to seriously teach this guy, that little guy, about politics. He attempts to make himself look as though he's the most decent that they have, and that if Irfan Ali goes to Lynden, he has to drop whatever he's doing. Don't go out in the streets and protest with the people. Don't join them in that struggle. But leave those oppressed and go and shake the hand of the oppressors. Shake their hands, because something isn't adding up. Something isn't adding up, and it is not the high ground. Anyone who takes that position is a suspect, especially on the circumstances in Guyana right now. And so for Jermaine Figueroa attempting to justify shaking the hands of Irfan Ali during these times, bad times indeed, it is bad judgment. Somebody tell that little boy that. It is bad judgment. It is not good politics. It is not respect for authority. It is disrespect to your constituency, disrespect for the people that you're supposed to be on their side, fighting for justice against an oppressed regime. It is just like somebody way back, let us say, during those horrific years of slavery our ancestors endured. Just imagine those who have been enslaved are being ill-treated, tortured, raped, and all manner of things. And the slave masters come one evening to talk about the crop and how much they expect to grow next crop season or whatever. And a couple of those who are enslaved walk up and shake Massa hand and smiling with Massa, and scores of his colleagues, his relatives, his friends are being oppressed and beaten and tortured. And so out of respect for authority, you want to shake hands, right? Y'all don't buy into Jermaine Figueroa and his crap. It is not politics. It is stupidity. And some of them saying, oh, thank you for taking the high horse. And that is what you call decency. They know nothing about the struggle. Don't worry with them. Next. Now, again, condolences to the families of these young men slaughtered on the PPP regime. But yet Pacus like Jermaine Figueroa want to justify a handshake and cozying up with Irfan Ali and the PPP at this time. Bad judgment, Jermaine, bad judgment. No justification for your actions. Absolutely none. There's a time and there's a season for everything. Now is not the season for cozying up. Now is not the time for handshakes. Story done. Well, good night again. Those of you who are joining us late, my name is Mark Anthony Benshap. I haven't said anything to you guys. Karen, welcome, and Gloria Pod. And Gloria Pod and a couple of trench crappos are here for distraction. We know who the trench crappos are. Pay them no mind. Just they zoom by like that, like mosquitoes. Pay them no mind. Those trench crappos are going to try to justify. They're trench crappos. They are enemies to the struggle, guys. They know who they are. Watch one of them in the comment section. Bumps is going to raise, and the minute that bumps raise, y'all deal with that individual in the comment section. But don't let them take away your time or distract us from what needs to be discussed this evening. Nadia Hamilton, how are you? Who else we can say hello to before we continue? Marcia Jackman, how are you? And then we have Donna Jonas, how are you? And Neville Seatal, also known as Civic. Good night, sir. Then you have Bingo Lady, Francine Cruz with us. All right, so moving on. Nah, we don't want this here. We're done with that. Look at that. Oh man, I wouldn't even put that in a barrel and send it to Guyana. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put that in a barrel and send it to Guyana. The guys wouldn't even wear that to the back dam. I don't know what sort of pants is that. What sort of style is that? I don't know. Whatever. Oh my gosh, Guyana really needs a change, fashion, and all these sort of things. Oh my gosh, Baroom Bar or Red Dragon, Tech One right now. But moving on to some more serious things. Let me see what else we can touch on. I wanted to get in touch with the mother of this young man that was killed. He was killed in the Bahamas. 23-year-old man, 23-year-old, went to the Bahamas to celebrate his parents' wedding anniversary. Oh, yep. Wedding anniversary. Stepped out just to get his jacket, maybe to grab a sandwich, who knows. And that was it. Quiet young man, decent young man. 23-year-old man reportedly left dinner with his parents at a Paradise Island resort to get his jacket when he vanished. His body was later discovered badly beaten. The police, the Bahamian police, have been giving inconsistent reports. They're all over the place. They cannot get their story together. They just cannot. And the Royal Bahamas Police Force Commissioner Shanta Knowles told Eyewitness News that authorities are awaiting McCalman's autopsy result. That is what they claim they're awaiting, the autopsy result. I don't know. Autopsy result. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. Just don't know what's going on, guys. I just don't know what's going on. I was hoping to have the mother on, Michelle McCalmont, because she wants justice for her son. You guys, when you're traveling, when you're going on vacation, especially places like Bahamas, be careful. Be careful, because if something happens at this resort or these fancy resort, guess what? The first thing they want to do is cover these things up. You've got to be careful. And so this mother wants justice for her son. That is what she wants. Justice for her son. She's crying out for justice. Somebody killed her son. Somebody killed her son and dumped his body. And the police in Bahamas have been lying to the family. They are inconsistent. 1 minute they said the young man drunk. So if he drunk, how then within less than 3 hours, they say the body washed back ashore, on the shore? How? Yep, we're trying to get in touch with a family member, but sorry about that. So 3 or 4 hours after, foul play. And so Shanta Knowles, the Commissioner of Police, Royal Bahamas Police Force Commissioner Shanta Knowles, need to speak the truth. She needs to say exactly what happened and they need to stop covering up for the murderer or murderers. They just need to stop it. I was hoping to speak with the mother this evening, but if we do before the end of the show, we should be joined by Michelle. Michelle, who is the mother, Michelle McCalmont. Um, I don't know what's it. It's sad, and this is the family, the parents of this young man. The mother is someone who watches this show religiously. Michelle, our condolences to you. Um, his aunts, his grandmother, they all watch this show. Sad situation indeed. Sad, sad situation. Condolences again to the family members. What else we can talk about right here on 107.1 FM? Meanwhile, arguments in the comment section between Francine and I don't know what's going on, man. You guys, holy smoke, serious matter and Francine and others, and I don't know. Let's go over to something that Jagdier said at his press conference today, and he wants to make it look as though he's clean. He wants to basically distance himself, from the Mohammeds, the controversial Mohammeds, mind you. He wants to distance himself. He wants to pretend as though he's the clean one in this here, right? That is what he wants to do. And so he brought up after a fake question, so to speak, because you know they make these things up before they go to the press conference, and that guy with the bird nest, they already know what angle they're going to take and questions that are going to ask, because Jack Dale set questions up. They set the topics up. So once a question is asked, Jack Dale already know what his response would be. And so on the question of the Mohammeds and Paper Shorts murder, Jack Dale didn't allegations that they're connected to it. Allegations, mind you, but Jack Deere tried to run away from the fact that the police force did everything to turn a blind eye on what was happening. Jack Deere also tried to give the impression that he is just the angel in all of this. Meanwhile, all of the things that the Mohammeds did for the PPP, give them vehicles as soon as Jack Deere Irfan Ali was sworn in 2020. Vehicles were donated, given to Irfan Ali. Jack Deere was aware of that. And you can't tell me, nobody there out there could say that when the Mohammeds brought in their Lamborghinis and Lamborghini and Ferrari and so forth, the Ferrari was an issue, I believe. It was held up in Miami for several months. You can't tell me Jack Deere didn't know that they had something going in and there was a query on whatever. And so Jack Dale is not telling the truth. He just basically wants to throw all the blame on the Mohammeds, and he doesn't want to accept responsibility. Whatever the Mohammeds did, whatever freeness they got, whatever it is that they got, whatever concessions that they got, they could not have gotten it on their own, right? Because they had to do something, and the more they gave to the PPP, the more concessions they probably may have granted, whether at GRA, wherever it was happening for a long time. And so Jack Day was pretending as though he's the only one with clean hands. No, he's not. You can't tell me that somebody brought a Ferrari in the country and Jack Day is now saying that they said that it cost $75,000. If I'm working at GRE and somebody comes to me and says that they brought in a a Lamborghini for $75,000, brand new, spanking brand new, not no 2000 whatever, up there in year and so forth, for $75,000, and that's not a red flag then, but it's now a red flag now for Jack Deere. I don't know. I'm not buying a lot of things. That's why I say, look, let them fight Mati. That's all I'm saying. Let them fight Mati, but you cannot believe Jack Deere when he talks, right? Because sometimes these days, who to believe? One said this, the other one said that. One said this, the other one said that, right? But at the end of the day, Jack Deere cannot cannot try to paint himself as though he's an angel. While they're talking about these controversial Mohammeds, right? These same guys that they were in bed with. Oh, yeah, they were in bed. They were in bed with. While he's talking about the Mohammeds, he's not telling you that Irfan Ali went on. They went to China together. This guy Tamesh Jagmohan, who is said to be an interest of U.S. law enforcement agents, allegations of smuggling. Uh, what is it? Gold smuggling and all sort of things. All sort of things. You see, subject number 7. But Jagdeo needs to tell, or maybe Irfan Ali needs to say, their relationship with this guy. Just like their relationship with the Mohammeds went down south really, really fast. Well, not really fast after all the years, because you heard the elder Mohammed said he had 3 guns in 1992. It was he had a gun, he loaned it to Freedom House, and then Glenn Lal gun at Freedom House in 1990. So mouth open and story jumping out. And I want more mouth to open and more story to jump out. Mouth open, story jumping out. That's all I'm saying. Mouth open, story jumping out. I want to hear more. That's why I'm saying let them talk, let them fight amongst themselves. Sit back, get your coffee, get your Kool-Aid, watch and listen what is happening. Let them fight amongst themselves. Don't worry about the parading. You're seeing a bunch of parade and these sort of things, right? Now, back to this guy, Tamesh Jagmohan. You know, this guy has been on U.S. law enforcement agencies for quite a while. I don't know what's happening now, but he's had his U.S. visa, maybe his entire family, their visa revoked, and so forth and so on, right? And you guys recall that then U.S. ambassador to Guyana, fresh into Guyana, someone didn't advise her properly, and she was at Essequibo, took photographs of these guys, and it was a big thing, a big, big thing, maybe in the State Department or whatever, on that particular photograph. Now, Jack Davis is talking about he wants the PPP to distance themselves from questionable businessmen and this and that. And of course, rushing to throw the Mohammeds, they're good friends. Not so long ago, the Mohammeds under the bus. But he's not talking about others. For some reason, he's not talking about Tamesh Jagmohan. And Tamesh, I believe it was Tamesh who went to China not so long ago with Irfan Ali and so forth. And they're not talking about these things. They're not. And look what happened. The same Jagmohan family. Look at all these cars they donated to the Guyana Police Force. Oh yeah, subject of U.S. law enforcement agencies, and the families donating all of these cars to the Guyana Police Force. No different than what the Mohammeds used to do. Remember the Mohammeds, they had the police were lining up 2 Christmases ago or something like that, collecting a little small freck, collecting a little money. Jagger didn't see that then. He didn't see it as a problem then. Of course it was a problem. It was a huge problem. A huge problem. They get some gotta be some trench crabs. Eon Rodriguez. What is your program really about? Well, if you listen, you'll understand. And if you can understand, well, that's another story. We're not here to sit you down like if it's in nursery school. Because if you can't understand what the program is about, well, maybe you need to go watch some sort of program at Freedom House or count some drug money at Freedom House. So moving on. This is it. So if Irfan Ali, and Jack Deere, if Jack Deere is suddenly this clean guy, why is it that a country like Guyana, with billions and billions of revenues, that you need to collect donations from businessmen, that the police force got to be given vehicles and all these sort of things? It doesn't work out. It doesn't make sense at all, because once you have businessmen giving out money to the Guyana police force, expect they are going to look for favors. It means that the police will have to turn a blind eye on whatever operations. And these are the things that need to stop with immediate effect. It needs to stop. So Jack Dale is no angel, absolutely no angel. And take a look at this business community, business again. All the motorbikes with the billions of dollars Guyana is making. Take a look. Take a look at what's going on. Billions and billions of dollars. And look what is happening. Corruption, 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 corruption. That is what it's all about. You cannot have a country making billions of dollars, oil revenue. Well, of course, forget about those who are smuggling gold out of the country. And when they smuggle gold out of the country, you know what happens there, right? They're cheating taxpayers of Guyana. Because we could get highways, not just one. Guyana doesn't really have any highway. It's one straight road. One straight road from the quarantine till to the airport. One straight road. One straight road. They have no other way to get to the airport unless you're going through Backdam or whatever. One straight road from quarantine all the way to Lynden. From Lynden back all the way to the quarantine. One straight road. With the billions of dollars Guyana is receiving oil revenues and so forth and so on. Guyana can be such a beautiful place, a really, really developed place. But not with these Pacus in office. They're corrupt, a bunch of corrupt individuals. We can have several highways. We can have the Sherwin James Highway. We can have the Audrey Brown Bridge. We can have all these things. We could have Rastaman Highway. We can even have a highway and name it Marco Rubio Highway. All right. But because of these corrupt people in the PPP, they are so corrupt. We can even get a highway and name it Otto Martin Highway or Wayne Caesar Highway and John's Passageway. Whatever. We're not naming anything after Tony Hack or Francine Cruz anyways. Francine Cruz, bingo terminal. What else is happening in your neck of the woods as we look at the time? 9:42. It means 42 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm going to look at the letter. What is it? The comment section. Comment section. Before we go back to the comment section, corruption in the Guyana police force. Again, not just drugs, but every single day complaints about corruption, more and more corruption. More and more corruption. More and more corruption. Joylyn Cutting, I see your question about the one. No. That's not my cup of tea. Guyana can do better. Guyana needs real individuals to run the country. I am not into propaganda at all. And I'm not into that fanfare at all. Guyana needs decent people to run that country. And I hope that my response to your question is sufficient. All right. So Leslyn Hamilton says she's fed up. Oh, yeah. We all fed up, aren't we? So since we're fed up, we might as well just take a...
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up.
Everybody fed up. Everybody fed up. I know somebody gonna get blocked here tonight. Carlton Popo says Benshaw Parkway. You gotta be kidding me. You mean Jagdeer Parkway, right? All right, guys, a little nice little fun there as we move on. Corruption upon corruption in the Guyana police force. If it's not drugs, if it's not marijuana, it's cocaine. If it's not that, they're killing people every single day. I don't know what's going on in Guyana. Any one of you out there in the audience believe in prayer? Who believes in prayer out there? Who believes in burning two garlics and these sort of things? Who believe in those sort of things? Who believe in those sort of things? Peer is asking if Norton is back from North Korea or South Korea. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. Call up Norton's advisor. Call up his softy general secretary. Bombs get raised quick, and he vex quick, like some. Anyways, Hazel Johnson, how are you? I see it. Drugs Highway, indeed. Miss Booker, and all the Buxtonians. Good night to all of you. So look, back to the Guyana Police Force. Corruption upon corruption upon corruption. That is what it is. Corruption. Right, William Bill Cato? Corruption. Just imagine the police force is there to protect and serve. And they probably rank the second most corrupt agency. Forget the government is the top. Irfan and Jagdev and all these people, followed by the Guyana Police Force. In terms of corrupt agencies we're talking about, right? Corruption galore. After the killing, the murders of those two young men in Lynden, did you hear anybody? Is anybody in the audience? Have you heard from the Commissioner of Police? I don't know, unless I missed it. Can somebody say, have you guys heard anything from this Commissioner of Police? Clifton Hicken. If he said anything about the Lynden, the murders out there in Lynden, and I missed it, I haven't heard it, well, do forgive me, but I haven't heard a single thing. Why is this guy so quiet? We know when he was commander right there in Lynden, back in 2011, 2012, 3 persons were killed. Several others were injured by bloodthirsty goons of the Guyana Police Force. And he, Clifton Hicken, was the commander. Now he is the Commissioner of Police, and 2 young men were murdered by members of the Guyana Police Force. And not a word, not even a whistle, not even a hymn, not even a clap hand from this guy, Clifton Hicken, who is the Commissioner of Police. Can you guys understand what is happening in that country? They cannot call a press conference for that. 2 persons were killed. But yet when a policeman, Detective Sergeant Bascom, made serious allegations about them and their involvement in the Paper Shorts murder to cover up whatever they covered up, and for whomever they covered up for, they called a swift press conference right away to say basically nothing other than to cover up. That is what they did. And now today, 2 persons recently murdered by members of the Guyana Police Force in Lynden, and 72 hours after, not a word from Clifton Hicken. Not a single word from Clifton Hicken. Shame and disgrace. Not a word from the crime chief. Not a single word from any of them. We haven't heard anything about a reshuffle of those senior ranks from Lynden with immediate effect. You know, look, I just sometimes in countries we see people take certain actions. Now, I'm not calling on people to take certain actions, but just imagine 2 persons slaughtered by murderers of the Guyana Police Force. All those police would have had to have been removed from Lynden. Every single one of them. Whether any is my friend, any is my relative, it doesn't matter. Remove them. Clean up that entire place. But I'm glad that Lyndeners are peaceful people. But not because people go out and they stand up and they fight for justice in a peaceful manner mean that you got to kill them or you got to call them thugs. They don't take 4x4 and cutlass and these things and chase police down the road and beat up nurses and stone school buses. That is what you call thuggery. Those folks are thugs. The people in Lynden didn't do that. You know, you get my drift, right? The people in Lynden didn't do that. Police station's still there. The one on Mackenzie side, it's still there. The one on the Wisma side, it's still there. It's still there. So those people in Lynden are not thugs. Unlike some of those PPP pakus who are describing those individuals as thugs. I'm sure you probably wouldn't want them to behave like thugs. Then it possibly would have been a different story. But because they are peaceful people, all they want is justice. That's all they've been crying for, justice. They didn't beat up nurses. They didn't beat up policemen. Sharon, get out of the way. Get out of the way, Sharon and Travis. They didn't beat up policemen. But what we heard from those two guys, Travis and Duncan, is that the police were basically, they were just like this. They were sent there to rile the crowd up. They were shooting pellets. They were shooting live rungs and all manner of things. And when you're there and people shooting at you and throwing tear gas at you and so forth and so, don't do nothing, right? Just don't do nothing, man. Just pick up your Bible or your Quran or your Bhagavad Gita and just sit on the bridge and read. Just read. Which one of them scriptures that says we fight against not flesh and blood, but against principal? Raise up your Bible and just read. Just read it. Just read. Don't do nothing. Take your pellets, right? Take your tear gas, right? Don't do nothing. Just pray. While they shoot at you, shoot at your relatives, shoot at your friends, just stand up and pray, right? Speak in tongues. And everything will go away like that. Sorry, Pastor. Sorry, Apostle. Sorry. But yeah, just pray and everything will just go away. These vagabonds in the PPP regime, that is what they are, a pack of vagabonds. And that is why I continue to appreciate and love Auntie Data for what she's calling for. Do not vote for the PPP.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by who? Data. One vote, they're losing it by data. And hey guys, when you guys go out to vote, remember, think about the future. Think about the young generation. Just think about the young people. Think about them. That is what you got to do. Guyana's future is at stake right now, and the PPP regime cannot do the job. They cannot fix it. For 23 years, they couldn't fix it. The entire Guyana was in darkness. Not just from GPL, economic darkness. There was no future for young people. And suddenly they all care about the pensioners, right? The same 10 billion or whatever they're putting back into NIS. They took out to give to their friends and cronies to build the Berbice River Bridge and all manner of things. And that is what's happening in Guyana. So when they give something to NIS, they're giving back the money that they stole from NIS. Because when the coalition got in office, the NIS was in the intensive care unit. It was dying. Just like the sugar industry, just like almost every agency in Guyana that was dying under the corrupt PPP regime. That's what's happening in Guyana. Let me check some of your comments. And as you see, our executive producer, Emma Benshop, is with us tonight. And she's listening. She's watching. She knows what's going on in Guyana. She's paying attention. All right. So I noticed the deputy mayor. The deputy mayor is with us. He's saying, calling for justice. Thank you so much. Let me say thank you so much, Deputy Mayor Dominic Blair, for what you have been doing from day one. Dominic Blair, we got to give that young man some kudos. We've got to say that he has been doing a splendid job, right, Emma? And so we say, congratulations. We salute you, young man. You got a far way to go. Just stay on the right track and pay attention, right? And so Dominic Blair is in the audience there with us, the deputy mayor. The deputy mayor is with us. So, and then there's a fire out there as well. Still a fire. Still, Dominic Blair has been calling on the corrupt government to do something. They just left everything hanging there in Lynden. That is what's happening in that country. Okay? I noticed Tony Hack. You could tell Tony Hack just stuck on Granger. I don't know, like Granger do something to you when Tony was in the army. You know, we gotta do a little research to find out who Tony Hack is now. He's becoming a suspect. You know me and them suspect. I just pick them suspects up quick. All right, we are preparing to close up. Emma, you have anything to say before we go? You want to say congrats to the deputy mayor of Lynden, Dominic Blair. And look, this is a young man, a young politician who put his life on the line. As soon as things happened, he just went straight out there, along with the mayor as well. But Dominic was probably in the forefront, active, and so we got to give him his credit. We got to give him his credit. So, unlike others, unlike that guy Figueroa, who only wants to write dotishness, but beyond the rhetoric and them nonsense, hit the streets and be there with the people and defend the people, just like Dominic Blair did, and Dominic Blair continues to do. Those are the sort of politicians we want. Those are the sort of leaders we want, not Pakus sit behind some air conditioner, sit on air fan lap and write bare stupidness and call it beyond the boundaries or beyond the rhetoric or some crap. Anyways, my executive producer is here, and when she's here, it means we've got to go. Right, Emma? Are you from Lynden still? Yeah. Emma always says that she's from Lynden. But guess what? My name is Mark Benshap. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. And guys, let's pay attention. We're not here for this. We're not here for distraction, guys, right? Tony Hack and others, we're not here for distraction. We've got to really pay attention. So, and be constructive. Elections around the corner. They could have elections either in October, this mid-October. So watch out for that, and watch out for all of the silly promises by these corrupt PPP regime folks. Silly promises. That is what it's all about. They're now claiming giving out some more handouts. Watch out for more handouts. Watch out for it, but be careful, guys. Be careful. Do not be fooled. In the meantime, I know what the opposition's saying. The opposition, guys, they got an elections to win. I know what it's saying. They have an elections to win, but I know what's going on, honestly. But I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless you.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand.
name is Jasnity Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a
you could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
God damn.